We have a lot to discuss, and we have a big problem with the competitive side to this defense for a lot of reasons. And I think it's just going to get worse as this video goes on because, man, when you play soft, you're going to act soft in these games. And there's a lot of tape and a lot of film on what happened in that game against the Bucks. And as you're getting destroyed, these players are acting like nothing matters at all. And it's really sad. And we're going to be talking about Bryce Huff and how the Eagles are not using him right and going through some of the tape there that I've seen some things on why Bryce is not playing at his ability at $17 million a year. So let's get straight into all the news.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
This video is sponsored by Lucy. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. Since the Philadelphia Eagles make nothing easy for us, and you need something for these games that give you a heart attack at times, I have just the solution. Lucy isn't like any other nicotine company owned by Big Tobacco. Think of it as the mom and pop shop of pouches. The Lucy Breaker nicotine pouches are flavorful. Each pouch holds a capsule that breaks open, releasing tons of flavor. Whether you want to buy one can at a time or buy a subscription monthly so it's delivered straight to your door. I have tried a good portion of the nicotine Lucy Breakers, and there are a nice 6 flavors that I've already tried already. Trying espresso made me nervous. It was like walking to a Barnes & Noble, sitting down with a magazine, getting a cup of coffee, and let me tell you, it's not too strong, but it's just settled enough to be like, wow. The cinnamon flavor is one of the best ones too, because if you're a big fan of Big Red, you're going to love cinnamon. If you want to get on the fruity side of things with mango, not too sweet, not too strong, just settle, just perfect. Spearmint and wintergreen are 2 of the most common flavors I think will be big ones. It's apple ice. Apple ice is an amazing one for me just because it's like going to the supermarket, buying that green, sourish type apple, and oh my God, it was absolutely fantastic. Love this flavor entirely, and I'm definitely buying more of this. The top of the pouches actually come off, and you could actually place your empties, your garbage ones in there so you're not throwing them or littering them on the ground. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just remember, when you go on the website and purchase the Lucy Breakers, make sure you pick your strength, which is the nicotine. 4 milligrams, 8 milligrams, or 12 milligrams. I'm usually throwing one of these in, no doubt, before content, after content, before a game, during a game, after a game, before dinner, before I go to sleep. Yeah, I got some problems. I came through for you guys, my Eagles fans, my supporters, and let me tell you, you got a promotional code here. Go to lucy.co/joeyshakes for 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and a 30-day refund if you need to change your mind. That's lucy.co/joeyshakes for 20% off and always free shipping. Just remember, guys, Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. I want to thank Lucy for sponsoring this stream or video, and let's get back to the content. All right. This is really alarming for me because, when you play defense for this team, and especially, the way this year is going right now, you would think there was more of a sense of urgency with players and the attitudes from some of these players in game, especially this Tampa game where everything underneath, the Eagles were giving so much cushion. And I couldn't believe, from watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Mike Evans video of him mic'd up, just what was being said in here. Okay, not only did the Eagles make this game look easy for the offense, but Mike Evans even says, "Man, this feels like training camp," which is even worse to even say at a game of how easy it just seemed like these guys were just facing pretty much dummies on the field, bags just sitting on the field. what is going on with the attitudes? Like, look, I understand, like, there are times to be nice during games, but the way that game went, you're acting as if the Eagles had a lead here, or there was, like there was a little bit of production from this defense in this game. Okay. And let me tell you something. Quinyon Mitchell is the perfect example of competitiveness and not backing down. And there's no time for being nice in a football game, only giving up 2 catches to Mike Evans, and literally was in his face saying, "You easy," and saying, like, "Oh, how many catches you have against me?" And I mean, Mike Evans went back to the bench after this series and actually said that, man, this guy's got juice. He's the only player that has juice, talking about Quinyon Mitchell. This is the type of attitude that we need to have. Then being nice doesn't come as a first sight. The competitiveness has to come out before anything. And the way that this defense was playing, how are you not pissed off throughout the entire game? Well, maybe it's just some guy's personality, but still, it doesn't even show you that these guys are even getting somewhat angry about situations or anything like that. So Quinyon, man, God, what a talent. Having such a great year. Week to week has just been getting better. And some of these other players, man, there is just some things to question that probably will not even surprise you. Avonte Maddox is talking about Fortnite. Oh, yeah, I'll be online. Oh, Mike Evans like, oh, you'll be online. He's like, I got you on Fortnite. He's like, oh, yeah, I jump on that. Fortnite? Why? Why? What the fuck are we? What sport are we playing here? Why are we talking about this in game? Getting your ass kicked. I just like this is why. Like it's what. As the season goes on, it's one thing after another, and it's just annoying. And then on top of it all, the Cooper DeJean, please, after the bye week, start over this guy, please, for the love of God, because I can't stand this. Put in a young buck and let him fight for his job and fight for the future of this team, because, man, I can't stand some of the personalities and some of the attitudes from some of these players. Oh, and our favorite one from Slay, Mike Evans and Slay are talking about, oh, I think we played against each other for so. I mean, like, God damn, dude, it's just this nice attitude just fucking annoys the shit out of me when you're getting your ass kicked in games, probably already down 3 scores, 2 scores, whatever the case may be. Still, there's nothing wrong with joking with a player or anything like that. But in the situation of, we know how this game went, where the defense did nothing all game, absolutely nothing. This is the attitude. This is the personality that comes out when you're losing a game like this. Like, pretty much like, you know what? We already lost this game, so you know what? Might as well just relax and just go through the motions of this game. I don't even know. I'm trying to make it make sense, but it doesn't. No wonder when you play in a really passive, soft scheme, it turns you into a soft player. Not for everybody. I'm not saying everybody on that defense. This is just what was given to us media-wise from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, from Mike Evans, mic'd up in this game against the Eagles this past Sunday. And let me tell you something. Like, I'm already, I feel better about the defense going forward, only because, more than the offense, only because I feel like Vic Fangio will make those adjustments. But if you're not playing consistent every game, or at least like you go from a Saints game where you like played with pride, you played with anger, you were the bullies, and then you go into this game and you just look like, and if you're giving up, if your players are playing off, if your corners are playing off ball, and Fangio says like, oh, they had to play tighter, but why did you wait 3 scores later or more, really the second half, to play tighter? Not only that, but then play heavy soft zone coverage, letting every receiver off the line and getting every catch in open space, with having no pass rush, that it didn't even get better during the game. So I really question Fangio's leadership, Because why are these players acting like this? Why aren't these guys getting chewed out? And the number one thing, part of it too, is that Fangio is in the booth. Fangio is not on the field, which I think Fangio thinks he just sees a lot more up there because he's not on ground level. He can see a lot more from up there. He doesn't have to communicate with people nonstop. He sees what he sees. He makes the apparent adjustments. But when he's not down on the field, he can't really rip anyone an asshole down there. And that's, I think, one of the biggest problems, him not being on the field and seeing everything at ground level and getting into players' ears and giving them shit, because it just seems like these players are just acting and playing however they really want to. And I'm really trying to keep my cool here because this just really annoys me. I don't like it. Slay could have been like, hey, man, you want to come over and have some banana pudding with me and my wife and my kids? I don't know. I mean, he could have said that, could have invited him to his house. God knows what else was said during this game. But from Slay, from Avonte Maddox, and Quinyon Mitchell, just fantastic. Fantastic from Quinyon. And just that's how a player should act, especially when you're losing a game. And this is him 24/7 in the game, whether they're winning or losing, doesn't matter. And I know people are going to fight me and be like, "Oh, well, he's a rookie. He has to be this way because he wants to get his contract in a few years. Like he has no time to." Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe in 3-4 years he'll be another Slay personality. I don't know, but I just don't see it. It's just really annoying, and let me know what you guys think about that whole situation. Now, we have to talk about Bryce Huff, which, I never knew that Brian Baldy actually called. I don't know if he was called that around the league. Bryce Huff was called the Bugatti of defensive ends. The Bugatti of defensive ends. Never knew that. But why is Bryce Huff not doing what I think he's doing? Why is he not at $17 million a year? Why is he being a really good edge rusher right now? Why is he slim to not even producing anything right now? The things that I've noticed is he's in a 4-point stance with the Jets last year and a 2-point stance with the Eagles. I feel like he has just a better get off when he is at a wider stance. He's lined up a lot wider at times with the Eagles, and sometimes he's lined up a little bit closer. But look at this 2-point stance. Look at how he doesn't get low. He literally just stands up the whole time. Can't even beat a backup tackle at all. Can't even beat a backup tackle. Can't even beat a tight end for 5 to 6 seconds. It's really that bad. But with the Jets, it just seems like he had more tools in his toolbox. It seems like when he's lined up wider in a 4-point stance, he could do so much more. I don't know if the 4-point stance is really the whole entire problem, but his get off is really bad though with the Eagles. It's not great. Why would they not use him the same way? And I understand these are two different schemes. I get it. Yes, Bryce Huff in a heavy rotation. Yes, Bryce Huff has Quinnen Williams on the inside of him, but that doesn't matter. I've seen him in so many one-on-ones with the Jets. Is he getting tired throughout these games? He's getting more snaps, no doubt, and he's getting paid, so you're going to have to get more of those snaps. But when he's lined up close against a tight end here, like what is that? That's what I don't get. There's no get off. He's getting beat. He's almost falling flat on his face all these damn times. We were giving this whole defense really a pass for the first game in Brazil because the field was so damn slippery. But against the Philadelphia Eagles, even if it's against Jack Driscoll, who cares? He wasn't a great tackle for us. But there's moves there. When I see Bryce Huff as an Eagle right now, there's not really any move. It's just like a pure bull rush. Containment sucks. And another thing that I've seen from him too is he actually, which I have to show everybody too, is he actually on some of these games, he actually backside, even if the play is going away from him, I think his pursuit was he didn't act lazy jogging to the play. Like he would full sprint if he was not even around the play at all. And you know what I mean? Like, he caused a lot of flags last year. And this is what he looked like with the Jets. He looked fantastic. This is the player that I thought we were getting, but the Eagles don't use him this way. And I think part of it, I think, like I said, the first step to this whole entire thing is that his stance in the beginning is not going to get him off the ball quicker. Because if you want him to be a dog on that edge, like, put him in the dog stance. Like, literally. He just has no explosiveness coming off that line. Like, I just feel like every time now in a 2-point stance and when he's lined up close to a tackle, like, look at the physicality. I don't even see that with Bryce Huff this year. I don't really know what those are the really only two things. Unless he's getting tired because of more snaps and he's not conditioned for this, for the money he's making, then I completely get it. But with the Jets, he's done everything right as of outside containment and some other things, but it's just gotten worse over time. It's really gotten worse. And we saw this player last year, especially, we watched the Eagles game. The Eagles lost against the Jets last year, and we were like, man, like, oh, yeah, I remember this guy. He dropped Jalen Hurts around his back. I remember that play like it was yesterday. And then you sign this guy, you get rid of Hassan Reddick, and, then you start to notice the things that, he looks so awkward sitting there like that. How you have center weight on both of your legs standing up. There's just nothing there. There's nothing for him to get off the ball quicker. And that's where I'm at with the situation with Bryce Huff. I honestly don't know why you sign a player to big money and you totally play him. This isn't anything new, playing a player out of position, but you're not even putting him in the right stance. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, you want to put Bryce Huff in coverage. I get all that, which I think is still a big mistake. No ends could play in coverage. I think Jalen Hunt would be the best guy if they played him more. But when it comes to just how you start him in a game and how he should be playing, and then it's just to a point now where they're benching him against the Saints. They make it a 5-man front. They use Milton Williams on the outside. They put Brandon Graham on the inside. They move Zach Bond up to the line because they can't get anything out of their defensive ends. I feel like if you line him up wider in a 4-point stance, the get-off will be great, and he'll have more of an opportunity to kind of pick his poison a little bit on where he wants to rush to the inside of the tackle, the outside of the tackle, and he can use some of his tricks. That's kind of how I want to use Nolan Smith this year at defensive end and line him up a little bit wider, just like they did at Georgia, because I feel like if he picks a side and gets through a slit, I feel like working a gap is going to be so much better than him just trying to bull rush somebody because he just can't do it. Physically, he just can't do it. And that's where I feel like I think Bryce Huff is better than Nolan Smith. I think if they used him right from the start of the play, when it comes to technique and stuff like that, I think he will be a better player. Obviously, he's getting paid more money, so you expect that. But I think Bryce Huff would work out really well. But I think those are the two biggest problems. And as he's not making plays all year, I think he's just getting lazy. Fangio's getting lazy and not making those adjustments with him. And he could literally come off this year not having 5 tackles. It's not even a joke anymore. You know what I mean? So I know why they signed him, but I don't think he's got the right coach seriously, as a coach, this would be coaching 101 of, you have so much tape on Bryce Huff last year. Why are you not copying and pasting what he did with the Jets? I don't get it. Unless Bryce Huff mentally, something's wrong with him. There's something going on behind the scenes in his life, or he's just not. I don't know, but I don't think so. We'll get to see what this looks like in the future. I know I repeated myself a billion times, but I don't get how you sign a guy to big money and you literally don't use him even technique-wise to his advantage. You would already think that in his technique, it would be a copy and paste, but it's not. So that's where I am with the situation. This defense, let me know what you guys think about, obviously, just the corners in general and what you saw from some of these guys. And let me tell you, personality, it's okay to have that, but man, being a competitor comes first before anything, especially when you're getting your ass kicked. If the Eagles played a tough game and scored 34 points, the defense scored on a couple turnovers or something like that, and the defense was getting their sacks and they were having a great game and they were acting like this, I wouldn't care as much. But you got little to no production than a couple sacks in this game, on top of missed tackles and giving up all that cushion and all that space for easy chunk yards. It's really fucking embarrassing. They should really be ashamed of themselves, and hopefully coming off the bye week, they'll look different, because this shit right here is a perfect example why this scheme, this defensive coordinator, and some of these young studs have got to get playing time. Cooper DeJean needs to replace Avonte Maddox. And I'm sorry, but I have no issue right now, and I'm already on board with this idea. What's the point of waiting for Slay to leave after this year just to start Ringo next year? Honestly, I wouldn't have any issue with trading Darius Slay and putting in Ringo for the rest of the year. Better to start him now than start him fucking in training, to put him through another training camp and have him to learn all over again. Not learn all over again, but to put him through the process all over again, because he's not going to hit the field for a lot of months before next year's training camp. So you might as well put the young guy in there. And I totally agree with that. I'm already on board with that at this point. I don't care what you get for Slay, but that's where I'm at, and we'll see what happens. Other than that, guys, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. Make sure you definitely purchase some pouches from Lucy at lucy.co/Joey Shakes. Use promo code Joey Shakes to get 20% off your first order. And I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.